item of business, regular meeting of council for September 24th. Motion, Councillor Carrier, Councillor Deynaka.
That council cancel the regular meeting of council Wednesday, September 24th, 2014, and direct administration to advertise the cancellation.
Any comments, any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Next item is the organizational meeting. Councillor Carrier.
The council approved the organizational meeting be held on October 15th, 2014, 7 p.m. in council chambers, and the roles and responsibilities workshop being held at the also at the High Prairie Council Chambers on October 21st, 2014 at 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Alright, comments on this?
High Prairie Tech Center for the roles and responsibilities.
Councillor Carrier?
Just for fiscal responsibility, when we have a perfectly good building right here, why aren't we using and utilizing this building? We got a board there, we got overhead, we got everything the tech center has. We can have suppers back there instead of paying. Gotta start keeping your costs from the top. You can have it here.
Can I ask a question?
Yes?
We booked the tech center, right, did we?
They haven't gotten back to us
So
with confirmation, so
is this place booked?
I'll check right now.
Can I ask why, and why
Why we
we
use
use,
it.
why we use the tech center sometimes?
The reason why we use the tech center is that it's more like a classroom facility. It's got that structure of a classroom and gives everybody. And municipal affairs, when we used to do all of those things, used to separate council chambers and the tech center so that they're not things that have to do with politics, and separate that from the workshop. Like, give it an ambience of a workshop. And that's been more the reason. And anytime we held it here, it's a little cumbersome. If we have senior management, we have to set tables. It doesn't come out right, but it's all council's decision.
Councillor Panasiuk?
I made mention before that I know that we can use Northern Lakes College classrooms and there would be no charge on that. So, I mean, we can, if that's the rationale as a classroom environment, we can use the college for that.
And there is a charge, Crystal, for the tech center.
Yes,
What are the charges?
I'm not sure.
Councillor Carrier?
I will accept the friendly amendment to my motion to have it at the Northern Lakes College.
If available.
If not available, to be held at council chambers.
Discussion, any other discussion on this? I'd like to know who's facilitating this workshop.
Municipal affairs.
Oh, so you'll be bringing in someone from municipal affairs?
Yes. What I've, anyway, I'll talk about it in my report. There's
Okay,
a bigger picture.
yep. Any other questions? All in favor? So that is after the 15th. Okay, so the next item of business is the Raven Inn correspondence. Councillor Deynaka, would you like to make a motion?
I'm not sure what my motion is.
I can speak to
Yeah,
this.
administratively, we've been dealing with this, but okay.
On.
If you may, yeah, we could provided you administrative response, but administration has been dealing with this.
Do we want to move it then just
Oh, no,
to
that's-
his report?
We can still give you an update now.
You
Okay.
can, yeah, and then you can receive it for information.
Yeah.
So I took this to our roads and facilities, and he then brought it forward to, because where the line is located, if it is on our town property, then insurance covers it. So we're just looking to see where it's located and how much and if insurance will cover it, so it's in the treasurer's hands right now.
And the
For
treasurer has
insurance
forwarded it
purposes.
to our insurance company.
Yeah.
So that's where it's at administrative.
Okay.
Okay.
And this has been communicated to the Raven Inn.
Oh, we don't have an answer to give them yet?
No,
So,
just the status has been communicated to them.
not yet, no, not at this time.
Well,
Yeah, we don't need to tell them what until we have a definite answer, otherwise we create miscommunication.
This letter came to who?
It was in the correspondence on the website.
So it came to
town,
town
Yes.
administration, and you guys have responded in some way?
Yeah, that's what,
Two, great. I think that that's the one thing that I'm concerned about is we don't always have the answers that everybody wants, and we don't always, financially aren't and may not be responsible for this or the other thing everybody thinks that we may be. But I think ultimately, some level of feedback, that we've received it and this is what we're doing. But I mean, if that's what I'm just asking, can I step in now?
I can find out from Brian, but if we haven't done anything, I can send
Yeah,
Brian.
like he may have already
Yeah.
contacted them and
Yeah, okay.
Well,
get
done
back
some
to you.
follow-up with them.
I don't know what Brian has done, so let me talk to Brian, and if we need to go to them, Brian is very good at it. He'll drive down, have a chat with them. I don't know what he's done.
Okay.
so this is the kind of thing that if you had written a letter and acknowledged the fact that you had received it, and we are investigating, and that had gone into the correspondence file, we would all have known they're working on it, and that would have been it.
I'm not sure. The way we do business sometimes, we get this, our public works go face to face, they talk to the people. That's the way it sometimes happens. Sometimes not just by letter writing, sometimes we go face to face. And so I need to talk to Brian and find out what has been done. And then, if we haven't talked to them, Brian, can you please go talk to them? I don't have the information yet.
All right, any other comments? And I guess I'm not sure if you want a motion for receive for information or
Yeah, that would be fine because we placed it on the agenda.
then
That's
we
what
need a
have
motion
covered.
for,
Okay, I make a motion that, the letter from the Raven Inn regarding the, sewer break from July 31st, 2014 be received for information.
all in favor? And the next item is the community survey. Councillor Panasiuk, would you like to make a motion on that one?
Yes, I'll make a motion that, we invite the company to do a demonstration of their software to our council.
What's the company called?
What's that?
What's the company called?
Can't remember. I was trying to look it up.
Somebody from the FCM people.
It was, and, do you guys remember? I know I sent out that link and you got a chance to look at it and a couple said, oh, this would be good, a neat software.
Can't remember, but I still have the email on.
Yeah, I was looking for it on here right now, that's what I was doing, because I knew you were gonna ask that. But basically, I don't know if you all looked at the software, but it's free, or no, sorry, it's not free, it's about $1,000 for us. It's a non-profit company that does it, and basically they put questions up on the web, and people can pretend they're town councillors and say, if we want to reduce taxes, how much would we reduce it by? What would sort of the reduced services be that you would get? So it's a very interactive thing, and then they can save it and put it in, and then so we can see what people are saying about where they would like to save taxes, where they don't want to save taxes. It's sort of like the questionnaire that Donna had put together, a little bit like that, where you could ask them questions and they can say, this is where we wanna only spend X amount on this, and this is probably the services that we would lose. Now, it does create a little bit of work for administration, because they have to put that information together. But once the information is there, they upload it and they run the website, they run the survey on there. So administration has to work with them, and they did say that they would work with administration to help, know what kind of information is needed to be able to put it up there.
And they said they'd come and give us a demonstration.
No, a webinar.
Webinar.
A webinar, yeah.
You're pain right now, I can feel it.
But it is a way of getting some interaction with the town, right? It's a really neat program when we saw it, at FCM there in Niagara. It was a cool program.
Councillor Panasiuk that council direct administration to invite, and I'll find you'll send me the people's names, to present the survey software to council first at a special meeting of council.
A special meeting or a regular meeting? Oh, sorry.
I don't know, it's, well, we probably can't do it at a regular meeting of council.
We have an
Because-
organizational meeting scheduled. And it's not a regular meeting, it's a special meeting
Okay.
on October 15th. Yes?
Yeah. March, I didn't want to say March, but I think these things tend to be operational, and if administration is asked to research those things, we can determine whether it should come up to a council level. But anytime you meet, there's a cost to your meeting, right? And we're being just paid, so we can do the investigation as to something that is needed. So, I mean, it's just, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to, but in the future, some of these things can be looked at. The treasurer can take a look at it. Is this something that will work for the town? Should it come to council? I don't know, but that's my 2 cents on that.
Councillor Deynaka?
Just regarding that, Crystal had the economic survey on the website. I mean, I took the survey, I thought it was pretty good. You know, it asked the questions that you needed to know from the economic development part of it. I'm sure we could, that questionnaire or the questions that I had sent to be put either for the trade show or to put on the website, just to, you know, get the input from the citizens of the town, can be done through you, as opposed to doing it through this company.
Well, this company does a lot more. I think we should see this before, and you know what, I'm thinking about, we don't necessarily need a special meeting to attend the webinar. Anybody with a computer and half an hour can sit down and view it. You just need an internet connection. So I don't think we need to spend money on it. I think we can set up a time, and those that can make it, and hopefully we can. Usually, and I don't know about this, but most of those webinars are recorded, so you can watch the recording afterwards. So I would just say, I don't think we need a special meeting, rather just attend that, and then we can put it on our October 8th agenda and decide whether or not we'd want to use them. But it does have to be done fairly quickly if we wanna get some feedback from that mechanism for our budget discussions.
Do you know how often they host those webinars? Did you look at any?
No, it's a
schedule?
special one for us.
Oh, I see, okay.
So do you want to maybe have your motion say direct administration to set up a webinar?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be at a special meeting.
Is that an adequate motion? Is there
To
something?
contact the company to set up a webinar, right?
Yeah.
So it will be up to them whether they will set up a webinar for us, and then.
Oh, they said they would.
Okay, and then we'll inform you on the time and the dates that will be done, and those
Yeah.
of you who are available can watch it through the computer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the motion, could you read it back, please?
Moved by Councillor Panasiuk that council direct administration to invite, to present the survey software to council by way of webinar.
Okay? All in favor? That's carried. Okay, we're now at the written report of the CAO. Town manager, can you give us the report?
Yeah, so based on what Councillor Panasiuk have said, you wanted some kind of time frame. Are you getting my report? Yeah, and I thought it would be helpful to give all of you a picture of how the next 4 months at least will look like without specific dates. So that's what we have for the time frame, timetable. August set the budget for water and sewer department, which we brought water and sewer department to the policy that we brought forward. Regular council meeting will have 2, and then we have the AUMA, blah blah blah, and then management needs to discuss budget, management finalize budget. The key thing in October is the organizational meeting, the roles and responsibilities workshop, which we think will be on, will be on the 21st, and then the week following, I can't remember what date. I'm still working with Municipal Affairs to come and deliver communication and conflict resolution workshop, and that'll be another 2-day workshop. So you have the roles and responsibilities the week before, and then the week after you have 2 days, 2 nights of communication and conflict resolution. And I thought that would be very pertinent given the fact that you have 1 year, and then going to your 2nd year, you have some workshop to lay the groundwork for moving forward. Obviously, the issues of retreat, that comes to my mind. I don't know where that will fit into it, but I think given the amount of work that is being done, there's also the need for council to retreat. It's just been a pressure cooker for you guys, and something needs to be done to just pull you back a little bit, but I'm still thinking through that.
Just hang on, when you say it's a 2-day workshop.
Yeah, 2 nights.
2 nights.
Yeah.
The next night is a council meeting.
What did I?
This is the week after the 20th though, like not the week of the 20th, you said the next week, right, Kel?
I know it's nothing to, yeah, it will be something that will not interfere with your, so council meeting is the 20th, yeah, the week after is not council meeting. Because that's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31st. I think it's 28, 29, 30 I gave to them, and then any 2 of those dates.
For communication and conflict
And
resolution?
conflict resolution,
Oh, I see,
yeah.
okay, so that's a 2-day workshop.
That's a 2-day, 2
2
nights, yeah. And from 5 to 10, 5 to 10.
Okay.
So that's mainly on that. But if you look at it, the timetable is all budgets and all kinds of things and frameworks and audits and all of that, just to give you a framework of how, as to how many times they occur in a month, it's all up to council as to how we want to push forward on that. So that's that on the timetable. I think it's a good one. At least gives you some idea on how things will move forward. We met with West Fraser, very great meeting. They were very, very happy with the turnaround, even before I get to West Fraser. In the newspaper, the town of Prairie was mentioned, Veronica, for the kind of help that she gave to somebody who came here looking for information. And I think you should know that. I don't want to miss on that one. Veronica, I'm sure you read that. Yeah, from the town office. And I mean, what's his name? Now back to before I lose my train of thought here. Wade Midnight and the other, Peter Andrews, were very impressed about the information we gave to them and all of that. And I think that information will come to intermunicipal cost-sharing agreement in terms, and then we'll take it from there. I also met with Darius Shuchak, and we talked about development issues and his interest in building townhouses and all of it. It was very interesting. On the issue of the weeds, I talked to Mark and Brian, and they always get what they call it, I don't remember what they call it, a swatter to go knock off the weeds.
Swath.
Yeah, swatter, yeah. And so that's what they do, and then if after that they just build the individual. So, and it's almost winter time. So, civic addresses, Keli Tamaklo is working on updating civic addresses. There are some areas that we don't have civic addresses, so we moved that to him to update that because that's very important. ADCO, we met with Bodette, and that was very interesting regarding the franchise and all kinds of communication. That was very, very informative. Utility rates, I think September 15th we'll have the information that is coming from the peace officers going through the utility process to residents. There was a brochure that I showed to you. Did you see, you remember that brochure? That is going to all the residents. CN, very interesting, and Councillor Carrier was there. Very informative workshop that we had. It was great, and based on that, our fire chief is going to Colorado to study issues of train and railways, and very, and we're paying, I think, just a little minimal amount, and they're covering the rest. And it's very, very good for him to be there, so I think he's making his way through that. DCL Siemens, we had a meeting here, I think last week, to to review all the projects, lift station, 49th Street, and everything seems to be going on track. Today I had a chance to go all the way to where I went to the lift station, and so the lift station, they take all the sludge, and then forward it to just after the golf course. And then they spread it on the field, go back. And it was interesting to watch the process and how they do it. So that's what I did this morning, driving around with public works and kind of fun stuff. So that's what I have.
Okay. Councillor Rose, do you have any questions?
Not about this per se, but can I ask a question about two things?
Yeah.
We have Keli hired to do communications as well as development.
Development,
Right.
yeah.
And I haven't really noticed that he's done any Facebook updates, and I've noticed that their webpage has had a humongous list of, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't, it's not that appealing or attractive. Like when you go to our website, there's a real disconnect. Like it doesn't, I wouldn't think that it's like inviting people to High Prairie.
Okay.
I really don't know what it's doing right now. So I don't know if he's one that's involved now with like is our website communications, like is he just sort of in training mode? But like these are two areas that I'd really love to see we improve on, and either one of them is.
Yeah. With Keli, I don't know. Municipal training is always that sharp curve, and just dealing with development alone, it's very, very cumbersome. I mean, the bylaws that you have to read, and every time I see him, he's busy doing something, very, very busy doing something. So I think it's a matter of time, maybe sit down with him to reprioritize.
Well, or if there's somebody else that can be earmarked. I think that communications was something that we put up as a priority.
Yes, we did.
And I would love to see that it gets worked on. You know, I know that Crystal was doing some of that in the
Right.
past, and like you say, both of those things I haven't seen.
Okay.
I haven't seen much. I don't know if there's a plan for that. It just sort of more of an observation right now. But
Yeah. No, that is fair. I think we need to sit down again and revisit our priorities in terms of communication. Sit down with Keli, sit down with Krista, and see what can give and what needs to take some kind of step forward. But you're right, communication was one of the reasons why he was hired. We need to sit down and talk about it. But all I can say is that he's busy. I mean, I don't want
he
it to
does seem
sound
very
like,
busy.
yeah, I don't want it to, and I don't know whether, I'm not too sure whether it's the learning curve, and municipal world it is what it is, right? And so my sympathies with him, he's just so much on his table. There's so much on his table. But we'll talk about reprioritizing.
Any other questions? Councillor Deynaka? Councillor Long?
I'm good. I like it.
Councillor Panasiuk? Councillor Carrier?
On the issue of weeds, we've had two ladies in here this evening talking to us about issues. To hear that they actually phoned the bylaw officers and they're still didn't get much of a response is alarming. I think what would be best is if we somehow had a policy or a bylaw, whatever it is going to be, to make sure that our bylaw officers are actually enforcing all bylaws, not just sitting at either end of a town worrying about speeders going out of town. Obviously that's just not working. It's been a year and we're still hearing the same. It's obviously not working, but we hear complaints about different things that are happening within the town, which we do have bylaws for, that aren't being enforced. I think it's very shameful that we have two bylaw officers in town, and we have to wait until somebody calls in that has a complaint, simply because whether they don't want to have to make the call, whether I'm picking on this guy and I'm picking on that guy. Well, it's too bad you're in bylaw enforcement. Enforce all of them. So I think we need to look at a policy that ensures that all bylaws are being enforced.
I really agree with Councillor Carrier. I've the weeds in this town are just totally out of hand. I look at Railway Avenue, I drive that road lots, and, CN obviously has not responded, if they've even received a letter. It says that the, period is 1 week. Well, 1 week has gone by, and, the storage yard over by the water treatment plant that one went in, it grew, it bloomed, it went to seed, and it's still sitting there, and nothing's done. We missed out on chigounes, it went to seed, and then they cut it. It was like poplar fuzz all over town, and all coming from chigounes. There's a stack of, brush that is over by, the St. Andrew's School on 48th Avenue. But that's been sitting there all summer. As I drive by, I look at it, and I don't, nothing's happening. In fact, they're cutting around it. We have people that are cutting the boulevards. They should be making note and bringing back this information, because they're out and around all the time. Why are they not being told? If you see a yard that's infested, or a alley that's weeds are all down the back of it. I mean, those flower people, those summer students were out and around every day. And yet, were they told, keep an eye out? I don't think so. I agree, the weeds were horrendous this year. Councillor Carrier?
And just further on your point, Madam Mayor, if you have to take a swather out there, obviously your grass is this high. We have lawnmowers in town, do we not? It's very disgraceful. We had complaints over by the RCMP station that there was thistle and everything growing there. I drive past that on my way to work. Just north of that, there's another big field. Nothing was cut there, just this part here, which the MD actually took care of.
No.
It's in town property, but the MD actually went over it.
And they cut it finally. They
Cut it and
down.
sprayed it, because hopefully the property owners are getting billed for it, not the town.
I have another question. We have a policy on electronic sign that says that they are to be using street addresses, and as I drove by today, I don't know who was advertising, but it said across from the promo store. So, I didn't drive around the block to look anymore, but I just got the glimpse of it across from the promo store. And the policy said you can only use addresses. The, CN meeting, what day was that?
September 3rd? September 3rd?
Okay.
Yep, September 3rd, yep. 10 till 11:30.
Yeah. Okay, I was just wondering, because I vaguely remembered I would be out of the country, and I was, when I missed that, because I really wanted to go to that. However,
CN encouraged the fire chief to attend. Everything was paid for except for the flight, so it's coming in, I think, under $1,000.
good, that's really good, because the amount of trains, and I don't know how many trains are going through here, and the peace officer did radar them, so he does know how fast they're going, finally. But the other thing is the speed signs. Has anybody seen the speed signs? We have 2 of them.
I thought for sure we'd see them during the opening of school, and I had not seen any of them. Usually there's one by Green Acres, and then the other one I've seen out and about, but I haven't seen them at all. So, I don't know.
I'm almost thinking that maybe go park it by my house so I quit complaining about it.
Madam Mayor.
And then you can give her a ticket, maybe.
Could be, but I doubt it, because he never drives fast. Councillor
Just in
Carrier.
regards to the CN, it's now called Secure.
Yes,
The plan is in the works for 4 more lines to be installed out there,
4 more sidings?
4 more sidings. They're,
Oh,
so we're gonna expect to see a heck of a lot more rail cars coming through town.
And how many of them are dot 11s? Like Black Megantic? It's important.
They have actually gone through it, and CN has now, because of that, they have changed their policies. There has to be more handbrakes set, you can't be on angles, you gotta take actually parts of the engine with you, so nobody can start it and move it. Has to be more than two people or more to man a train. So there has been implementations brought forth.
Did they say anything about blocking these intersections?
They're only allowed to block them for
Few minutes.
up to 15 minutes
Yeah.
at a max. And if you do see it actually, if you time it, and it is longer than 15 minutes, you can't complain and they will address the situation.
So, you know, our citizens should know that, because they're being held up, going back and forth from, O'Brien subdivision.
But it is mineral, that's the maximum. If you
15.
actually sit there and wait, you're not waiting that long. It seems like for everybody.
Okay, I'll remember that, 15 minutes. Any other questions regarding the, report?
I can say thank you for bringing this to our attention, and please do not hesitate during the course of the day if you go around areas that you think we are still citizens of this place, to let us know that there's something happening at a certain spot. Just send us some information. Sometimes we don't see those blind spots, and we try to work on it.
I wish the complaint form you didn't have to put your name on it. I think that stops people from complaining. They don't wanna identify, they just wanna tell you that there's garbage laying there. Maybe you could talk to your website people, find out, well, why do you need to? Why do you have to put your name on? Are there any other questions regarding the action list or anything like that?
Just a thought now that's coming to me, we did the performance evaluation for the CAO yesterday. We need to set a date to meet with Keli to review it with them. And I know we're not meeting again until August or October 8th is what we were talking about, so perhaps we should be setting a date where we can get together and review the PA with them, so that doesn't wait for another month and a half and it gets dealt with. But sooner rather than later.
I agree, when do you want your comments in?
As soon as possible.
So what date is that, as soon as possible? Are you saying?
Tomorrow.
Alright, that's what I want, I
Tomorrow.
want you a cutoff.
Well, say a cutoff, I don't know when people can get them in, but let's say, no
Friday?
later than Friday, how's that? I've got one already, so.
So Friday is the last day.
Yeah.
4 o'clock?
Fine.
Okay. All right, so then you're gonna compile them over the weekend, and a UMA is the next week. You've got Monday and Monday, that's it, you've got Monday.
And we have a week in between there?
Yeah, the week of
We
the
are
15th
now-
to the 19th to the 18th before the.
You got till Friday,
Oh, I
12 to
see,
get.
I see, yes, you're right, I wrote it the wrong day. Ooh, you would've
So
done
we've
that.
got the 15th to the 19th to meet before we have to even go.
Comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so what day, that next week?
What day works for Keli?
I thought you were talking about certain comments. I don't know what you're.
No, we're trying to set a date to meet with you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, we're gonna have everything ready by the 14th, so anytime next week would be good. Or even the 21st would work too. I think that's what we're saying, right?
21st is a Sunday.
Oh, sorry, the 22nd, the Monday.
What about the 17th?
Isn't the 22nd where you guys was going for AMA?
Well, we wouldn't leave on the Monday, cause the AMA,
Up to the 24th.
yeah,
No, it starts on the
23rd.
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 There are some stuff on the 23rd.
Does the 17th work?
I won't be here. But in saying that, I think I'll be giving you my comments, and really, we can carry it from there.
What time?
I would say meet at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
6:30 works better.
6:30.
6:30 works perfect.
We'll try for 6:30 this time.
6:30 on
Yeah.
the 17th?
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Does that work? Okay.
Where is it gonna be?
Right
There,
here.
next door?
Yeah. Next door.
So you let Quentin know? Okay. A motion to receive for information, if there's any other questions, no other questions, comments, whatever, Councillor Long has made that motion. All in favor? It's carried. Next item is,
Are you making a motion to set up the special meeting of council?
pardon?
Are you making a motion to set up the special meeting of
Yes,
council?
we'll make a motion to set up a special meeting of council to do the CAO review on September 17th at 6:30 at the town office.
All in favor? It's carried. Okay. Nothing else? We move on then to the written reports. And you see my mayor's report, I did have it in, but you wanna explain what happened?
I missed passing it on to Crystal, so she missed putting it on the agenda. Yeah.
So, here it is, and if you have any questions, comments? I move my report for information then.
It's the same one that's in the paper this week. I think I read that.
I was just gonna say.
I don't want to go there.
I mean, I already read
It
this.
would have been on the agenda, we had it there on August the 29th.
You're pretty comfortable with that, so.
Pardon?
I know, but the only question I have, madam, because somebody asked me, said if it's not in the agenda, then how did the newspaper get hold of it? And I couldn't provide an
No,
answer.
I sent it to them because I was
Okay.
leaving town,
Okay.
so, and I assumed you had it.
No, I had it, and
I know.
I forgot to, I apologize for that.
So I sent it,
You sent it the Friday when we were leaving.
no, I sent it to you the
On
Friday I was
Friday.
leaving, and then I waited about 4 or 5 days and then I sent it to them. I assumed you had it,
I had it, yeah.
I was quite, but
I had it, yeah.
irregardless, I move for information, all in favor? It's carried. Next report, Councillor Carrier.
I'll report.
Councillor Deynaka.
You have my report in front of you.
Any questions, any comments? Councillor Deynaka.
I had sent out an email to, I think, all the councillors and to you, Kelly, and to reception. Wondering about the old tours room. And if you knew who owned it. And what they were planning to do with it in regards to the museum, was wondering if they could use that as storage as opposed to spending money on the CCAN.
Was that the one that Councillor Emter replied to?
There was a few threads on that, but nothing regarding the building, he just said it's either, I think, the town or whatever, but that was the only response I got, nobody responded to who owned it.
The town owns it. The town built it with, Diane Oliver was mayor, and, they started construction at the campground, east of town, and they moved it in to town, so we own it. Actually, if you look at it, storage would be great, except you can't, they decorate it on the outside.
Oh, right, yeah, right, I know.
They only decorate on the outside.
Right, cause they were thinking of moving it by the museum,
Oh.
but I completely forgot about the decorating of it, right, okay.
although, what difference, well, because if you're only using it for storage, you probably wouldn't be doing a lot of back and forth.
Probably not in the winter time, but I have a meeting coming up on the 18th here.
The other thing they could possibly look at is setting it up as a trapper's cabin and putting some of their,
They talked about that at one time, they said that would be perfect, but they didn't know, this was before they had taken over the tourist booth or the tourist information center, they said that would be a good outdoor exhibit, but I'll bring that forward when, at the museum meeting on the 18th.
there's power in there, isn't there?
I can find out, I'm not sure.
It must be power because they
Okay.
used it for the tourist booth.
Yeah.
But it was never open past 8 o'clock.
Good point. There might be no power.
There might not be any power, cause when the lights are on for the light up, it's just strung by plugs, they're and, electrical cord, so I don't know.
Okay, do you wanna move any other questions, any other comments, you wanna move it for information?
I move my report for information.
All in favor? It's carried. Councillor Emter is not here. Councillor Long?
Verbal report, I had a request by some business people regarding, weeds, but also regarding the garbage that's built up in the back alley behind the High Prairie Pawn Shop and how it's being blown around. Their concern is that it's not being maintained properly, and so have asked me to at least make mention of it in my report, hopefully that administration would be able to look at that. As well, I met with Corinne from Pearl Calhazen's office. Again, just to reiterate that our MLA is asking that we provide her with as much information about who it is we're wanting to see, what the issues are, so that she can prep them and go to bat for us at the AUMA. The train mural presentation, Councillor Deynaka did an awesome job. Her speech was articulate and really well read, and it was really good. It was. And as well sent off the letter to the Alberta Gaming Licensing Commission on behalf of Deputy Mayor Carrier signed off on it, regarding the High Prairie beautification and the funding for them through the casino. Have not heard back from them yet, but maybe Councillor Carrier can add to that.
I got an email and I need to forward it to you. I'll forward it to you tonight.
Okay, thank you.
That's it, huh?
They're just wanted to further
you.
discuss it, and
Oh,
I figured I'll forward it to
good. It was a
Councillor-
good letter. Did anybody else get a copy of it?
No, I sent it out, I will send it off again, and so I plead ignorance.
Do you have a copy at,
I'll email it right now.
okay. Good. It was a great letter.
Thank you. And that's my verbal report.
You move for information?
Move for information.
All in favor? Okay, no question. Councillor Panasiuk?
At least it's not singing to us. I think the big thing that I did since the last council meeting was attended the chamber meeting and went there to inform them about the taxation policies. I was talking to Gordon and said, well, come down to the chamber, explain a little bit about what came out of that meeting. So I did, and it was very well received by them. There was a lot of surprised people. I don't think anybody in that room really knew about the taxation process, so they were all quite surprised, so that was interesting and certainly got them wanting to meet up with Warren Powers when he comes to do a presentation for the public and the businesses. So they were very interested in it, and they found it interesting to realize the implications of all of that stuff. So that was good. While I was there, it was interesting to listen to some of the things that they were talking about, and one of the things that they were talking about was they have been pushing the positive policing program, and they haven't really seen anything coming out of that, so they were hoping that maybe the town could give them an update, or have Alan give the chamber an update of what's been done with the positive policing program. They weren't really sure. They were maybe going to contact, I said, well, you can ask Kelly. I don't know if they've contacted you, but I said Kelly or Alan would give you an update on that, I'm sure. Cause I don't know what's going on with that at all. It was also interesting they've been dealing a lot with Alan on trespassing, people trespassing in at the IGA parking lot and Schmitty's, and how they've been dealing with that, basically giving the people trespass notices, and each one of them's $200, and after 4, then they spend a stint in jail. So that's how they've been looking at dealing with some of those people walking in and unwanted people coming into their businesses. And so Alan's been helping them with a template for trespassing and stuff like that. So it's been, they were really happy with that support that they've had from Alan and ideas on how to deal with it. And apparently it's been working since they've implemented it. And that was it. That's the gist of that. I move my report for information unless there's any questions.
Positive policing program, what was that?
Well, it was where they were supposed to go out and give out. Oh yes, do we need will we be more than an hour in camera, Kelly?
No.
No.
We should be good.
It's where they would give out a reward, a prize to a child that was wearing their bike helmet,
Remember that
that
now.
was crossing at the crosswalk, or whatever, like, giving them a reward for doing a good thing.
It created some consternation on our cul-de-sac when 2 of the kids got an award for wearing their helmet, and 3 or 4 of them didn't have their helmets on, and they said, sorry, you weren't wearing your helmet, you don't get it. It was awesome.
Also, it was going on out there.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Was it the RCMP or was it the town doing that?
I don't know if it was, I think it was an RCMP officer,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that was what they had mentioned at the meeting, is that the people have noticed the RCMP doing things, but nothing from the town constable, and I don't know what they had wanted or gave funding for it or gave prizes to the town for it, or I didn't really understand, and just said, well, get a hold of Kelly, or now maybe Kelly can contact the chamber and let them know, or have them contact, but that was it. But
Any other questions? Councillor Deynaka?
Regarding your meeting with the chamber, you had sent us an email regarding the issue that Tim Hortons is supposedly having, that it's a no-go because of their temporary foreign worker problem or something.
That came out of the chamber meeting. They were quite adamant that Tim Hortons was not a go because of the new foreign worker policy coming out of the federal government, they won't be able to use foreign workers, and if they can't, they're not gonna be able to operate. They don't feel that they're gonna be able to operate. They were adamant it's dead. And I don't know where they got their information.
That was my next question.
I don't know, but there was a couple of them there that said, no, it's dead in the water.
Councillor Long?
Maybe we should take the guesswork out of it, and as council, have yourself, as mayor, contact Tim Hortons to find out where we're at in this, and then offer them up some land in the town. If it's not applicable there, if it's not appropriate there, then let's get it somewhere else in town that is.
Well, that would solve the foreign worker issue, and just to comment on it is that I talked with Kelly a while ago, and he gave me a number to the Tim Hortons franchise office, and they basically didn't say anything about the operation when I phoned them to try and get something direct. So I think we're not gonna get much from them.
Tim Hortons, there's always second cup in Starbucks.
Yeah.
So,
I am in contact with the manager in Edmonton, the major project development. He is supposed to be phoning me in the next 2 days to find out what is going on
What
with
is
that
it?
trailer down there. And I told him that the rumor around town is that they have sold the land. And he said, well, I will contact the real estate to find out if the land has been sold. So in the next couple of days,
Mhm.
as soon as I hear something, I will email you out.
Yeah.
Second Cup's a good Canadian company.
I don't know, I guess we'll just wait and hear from him. He's the,
And the franchise is cheaper.
what else was I gonna say about temporary foreign worker? There was a letter that came to the correspondence file, and it was sent from Alice Elliott, the chairperson, regarding, and he sent it to Jason Kenny. We could do it that, we could also take that letter and we could send a copy. Put our own, put it on our own letterhead and send it out, because I think that the more, at least we have to show some support for our businesses. And that letter is just another letter that shows that we're worried about the temporary foreign worker program. I mean, Jason Kenny is getting thousands of these letters, but I think he needs to get more. So,
Yeah, and you know, while you talk about the golf tournament and meeting with our new MP there, David Judega, and that was talked about and discussed, and he says, look, I agree, we need to get something for Alberta, we need an exemption, because it doesn't work to have this national policy when they're looking at national numbers where the unemployment rate is reasonably high and lots of people are out of work. But in Alberta, the situation isn't that way, and they're not moving from the east to take a job at Tim Hortons. It's just not happening. So he totally gets it.
in the last Lakeside Leader just came out, Mr. Uradega was at the chamber, the Slave Lake Chamber, and they roasted him badly and told him that temporary foreign worker is a major priority in Slave Lake. And it's probably a major priority here in High Prairie if you talk to business owners that have got restaurants. So he's moved his report for information. I think we should vote on it and talk about or decide what you want to do about the foreign worker program. So, all in favor of accepting the report? It's carried. Do you want to make a motion to draft a letter to Jason
You
Kenny?
can make that if you want. I don't know the letter or anything, so.
I would like to make then a motion for the Town of High Prairie to send a letter to Jason, the Honorable Jason Kenny, Minister of Immigration, regarding the concerns that the business people of the Town of High Prairie have on the moratorium on the temporary foreign worker program. So if you dig that letter out, Mr. Tamaklo, you can paraphrase whatever you need to do and get it off to, and use the same CCs, because it's the Premier, the MLA, the MP, it's everybody that needs to get a copy of it to show that the town is concerned and we support our business people. All in favor? That's carried. And I believe that is the end of the agenda. Oh, Councillor Rose.
No, yeah.
How could we forget her? I have it right here, Councillor Rose.
Just a couple things, and I sent you guys out an email about it, but more just for information for now, but I think maybe going forward, I wouldn't mind us looking into it. I did meet with some of the executive from Predator or from Secure Energy, and they are interested maybe in a meeting with council and maybe even a tour out there and maybe an opportunity to deal with some of the safety questions and their process. So we're better prepared to make some, or to provide answers. So maybe in the future we can take a look at making a phone call, or I can pass on some information that I received on some contact information to anybody who's interested, but potentially to administration. And I did also discuss with the assessor from the MD some of the questions that we had. as to the differences in how the MD assesses and the town assessor assesses, and bottom line, he said, same process, same numbers should come out, and that the whole predator issue that came up in conversation when we were addressed by members of the public, and they were saying the difference, they think that there's businesses out of town that have a lot lower rate. Predator was one of those businesses, and that actually triggered their assessor to be called in, or the MD's assessor to be called in and relook at it, and it was Predator that actually called them in because they didn't want to not have this appropriately sort of looked at, and they are, just because they're in this construction year, they will be facing a much larger tax bill next year, which will make it more equitable to businesses in town that are comparing taxes. So I think that we have to take a look gently at when people are complaining about the taxes and bringing, comparables like the MD, where their information really is, because I think in the end, Predator's going to have a very large tax bill, and they're prepared for that. And the assessor assures us that it didn't matter whether it was the assessor we use or him. Each assessment here would probably be very similar. And I did have a question, Kelly, for you, just on the powers situation. Like we've been talking about the costs of bringing in consultants. I mean, I know sometimes it's just imperative we have to do that, but is part of his contract with us to come in and provide like an annual workshop to the community, or like when we had to call him in?
Yeah.
Is there a cost to the community? Like, did that cost us because we rushed in and we did that?
It's a cost to bring him in. And I don't think that's part of his contract. I think if it's an open house, I think that's something that can be done. But the way and manner in which we brought him will cost the town.
So it would be nice to know what is part of his contract, since he hasn't been here as part of an open house. Like what we're actually entitled to.
He was here as an open house.
When?
He came before the tax notices came out, which was about,
Oh, I didn't realize.
he came and he spent a day.
He comes here several times during the year. He's coming again in September to do all kinds of things. And he doesn't charge the town. It's part of his
Well, I'm thinking there's
overall
gotta be
budget.
so much that's probably just
Yeah,
part of his.
but for us to make a motion to bring him, anytime we make motions to bring people in, we should bear in mind that this time it's municipal resources, and it won't be that free. And so,
Because I think at that meeting when he was asked, he said when he would come back to the public, there would be no charge.
yeah, that's part of like an open house, but the one that we have to rush to bring him in, obviously will be a cost.
Yeah, okay.
And move my report for information.
Councillor Carrier?
Just further on your comment about the tour out at Secure, contact name for you would be Dave Padden. He gave us a tour with the fire department. He did an excellent job, outstanding job. And it is something to go out and have a look at. And the intersection out there with the new 4 lines that are coming in, that intersection's only gonna get busier. So it's a major safety issue. And I think it would be an awesome idea for us to go out there and have a look. So Dave Padden's your contact, he's in charge of safety.
Imagine the truck traffic too is gonna triple.
Phenomenal.
All right, any other questions? Councillor
Oh, it's
Panasiuk?
not, we haven't got a move for her. I got one thing I wanted to bring up before we.
I move my report, but you guys can.
We haven't voted,
we have-
so any other questions
Getting
regarding
used to
the
being
report?
ignored.
Any other comments regarding the report? All in favor? Carried.
The one thing I forgot to bring up in mine, I would like, council's permission to attend the Elms Conference, which would be on it's right after, it actually starts the same day the AUMA ends. So I was thinking of attending the Saturday in Slave Lake at the Elms one, if we get approval for that, so it'd be no cost to go. What's that?
What's it for?
It's the watershed in Alberta.
Oh, you don't need approval from council, cause you're on that you're on that committee already, so all, things that happen on your committee, you don't need approval from council to go.
But there's cost, probably cost a night for a hotel room,
That the town will have to pay for?
yeah. That would be the cost.
Well, last year, and I brought that up for Councillor Willier, I received an email from Mr. Tamaklo, and it basically said that, no, you don't have to ask for permission because it was a part of the committee. Is that correct, Mr. Tamaklo?
That's what I wrote there, that's correct. Sorry about that.
Well, I thought on the other one, we said that if you're going and it's gonna be a charge to the town, we have to get it approved, so I'm confused then.
That's what I was told last year.
Okay.
If it was part of your committee work, you had to,
Can we just like
But
approve it
you
so
can't
we
just-
can go on?
well, it's not a convention, how to say this? It is a convention that is associated with his community.
Yes, but at the same time, if I may, the gas co-op, I'm on that committee, and I still have to have consent from council to go to the conference and incur that cost.
Yeah, and
Can't
I
just
did with
spend-
the other ones when I went on behalf of the, well, I'm pretty sure I did with the, Heart River Housing Now.
Why don't you just make a motion?
So I'd like to make a motion, that, council gives me permission to attend the Elms Conference on the, I guess it would be on the 26th and 27th of September.
All in favor? It's carried. Then, we want to go into motion, we know what we're doing at the AUMA convention, we have one more week to decide, or we're just, are we okay with what's happening?
Well, so far, I think we know we're gonna be talking about the hospital and the issues around the new hospital, doctor
That's
retention,
tentative.
dialysis, that's right, it's tentative.
Okay,
We only have 15 minutes,
right,
so whatever presentations we make has to be concise and well laid out, so we have a little bit of
okay,
prep work.
then we have the
to
lift
do.
station,
Lift station, Railroad Avenue,
and is there any others? You have 1 week to get the concerns, and it could be a different ministry,
Yeah,
could
I
be,
think we need to leave them with a piece of paper too, so
Yeah.
that they've got something when we leave, because it is so fast and furious, we need to have the main points listed out so they know what they are.
alright, so we've got a week to
okay,
Now
think
who's
about.
doing that?
Kelly, send it to Kelly. Alright,
Oh, I like doing that.
You're sending me something?
I like doing that. Kelly, do it.
Okay.